My voice is almost loud enough. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, folks. Thank you for joining me. Can you guys hear me okay in the back? Perfect, perfect. So I'm not used to having a microphone on. I project my voice naturally, so I'll try to tone it down a bit. See some familiar faces out there. My name is TJ Vassar. Thanks for joining. I only have a short time, so I'm going to talk fast, but I'll be available afterwards for folks if you have questions. My goal of this session is to get you excited about a concept in F&O. It's called Analytical Workspaces. Uh, who is familiar with Analytical Workspaces to start off with? All right, sorta, slightly. I see where I need to go. Make sure everybody's in the right place. It's me. This is where we are. We're talking about Analytical Workspaces. The area is finance and operations. So about 2 years ago, we introduced a new concept into finance and operations. It was really the integration of Power BI into the service. We found that Power BI was just a really great tool for visualizing data. It was focused on power user experiences, and F&O was full of data that was ready to be analyzed. Natural connection between the two. So what we did was we partnered up with that team, worked really closely with them, and brought feedback we received from our community, F&O community, about how data is consumed in F&O. And we actually figured out that what we wanted to do was we wanted to give a seamless experience of Power BI just built in as a native component of F&O. And from that, we came away with this concept called Analytical Workspaces. So today, Analytical Workspaces, they're built into, they're process driven, they're sourced from the entity database. All that data is F&O specific. The other thing is it's a developer tool. The only way to introduce Analytical Workspaces into the app is to actually call a developer, have them write up some metadata and stitch it into the experience and navigation. So we've already kind of killed the offering of Power BI. We want it to be a Power BI experience. And finally, because it's based off of the entity store, you couldn't bring in any of your external data. And what really people want to do is they want a report in the product that's able to bring together data from F&O and data from external systems, maybe legacy systems, maybe you have a data warehouse. So although Analytical Workspace was a really huge breakthrough for our customers, it still left some areas where it needed improvement. So that's really where we're coming from. I'll tell you where we're going, and in a few minutes I'll demonstrate where we're at today, and it's kind of a stepping stone to get there. So where we're headed next, and my partner, crime, Melinda Vitharna, he's going to be doing a deep dive session today at 3:30, immediately following this, and we'll talk a little bit more about the transition from where we're at today to where we're going to be here by the fall timeframe. And really what's paramount to this shift is that we're making a huge investment on taking data out of Azure SQL and moving it to Data Lake. We want to unlock data for you. It's your data, and we protect it. We're great at moving it. We're great at transforming it. We're great at making it available when it needs to be, but it's still your data. And although we want to offer you the same protections, we don't want to prevent you from being able to extend that data and access it at your leisure. So the huge move we're making is switching your data set out of Entity Store. We're bringing Entity Store, we're moving it to the Data Lake. We're removing the reasons why you would need to bring your own database. All of the extra data massage, the integrations of external data that you do on your own database, you can now do on the Data Lake. Build the reports on top of that consolidated view and present that to your users. So here's an example of a standard data analytical workspace. And the feedback has been amazing. The simplicity with Analytical Workspaces provides customers. It's really unmatched. So the whole goal with Analytical Workspaces is basically democratizing BI. Power users have become pretty good at going to powerbi.com and building reports, but we want lower level users to actually benefit from the insights that are available in Power BI, and this is the tool to do it. It's packaged, it's understanding user context, it enforces security on your behalf. So as a user, as a standard system user, you don't even have to know anything about Power BI to actually benefit from these reports. So we wanted to take the Power BI, we wanted to take all of the benefits it gave having F&O data involved in it, and we wanted to give the flexibility to power users to extend those solutions. So that's really where we're headed today. What I'm going to show you shortly is what we've recently released with our embedded analytics, and it's a suite of power user functions, capabilities that allow power users to come in and extend those out-of-box solutions. So I'll show you that in a minute. But mainly the goal is to make you understand that Analytical Workspaces today, really simple to use, not a lot of management overhead, which is why they're really attractive to customers. We're going to maintain that. We don't want to lose that real simple integration, but we also want to bring the power of the cloud to your customers, give you opportunity to bring in your data, take advantage of AI models that you customize for your solutions. Basically give you the extensibility of Power BI right in the hands of your power users in F&O. Sweet. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of examples of this. So I'll quickly show this. Let me refresh this just to make sure everybody's happy. So I am going into cool. Let's go ahead and go into the customer collections workspace. So this is a standard workspace in F&O. These are geared towards specific business operations personas in an organization. This one is designed for the person who's responsible for collecting bills, collecting money for the organization. So what you're looking at here, this is the place where you do your work. This is where I can personalize my lists. This is where I take action. This is my operational workspace. I'm actually doing work here. So if I know what I'm doing, maybe I start here. But if I need to do some discovery, maybe I'm looking for outliers, maybe I just want to play around with the data to tell me what the latest results tell me about our business. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this Analytical Workspace, which is a Power BI solution baked right into the product. So this is all based off of F&O data. You got this. I don't have to be a Power BI user. In fact, I can't get to this report from PowerBI.com. The service manages the solution on my behalf, on the behalf of the organization. So if you're an F&O user, you have access to these embedded analytics. No additional administration or setup required. So these are great for getting familiar, more intimate with your data. You can do things like actually use these visualizations to drive action in the product. So if we go over here to age balances, I can actually look at these reports and say, hey, this is maybe the data that I need to go take act on. Maybe I want to go do something with this information. I'll click on that visual and it'll navigate me to a place in operations where I can actually do the work. So it's a Power BI report, but it also drives navigation into relevant forums in the app. So that's a standard report. That's what a developer has delivered to my business. But developers usually don't write solutions that cater specifically to my business, or maybe I know a little bit more that I didn't get to explain into the people that wrote that solution. So we get this, we go back to the workspace. Let's go ahead and go back in. So you imagine, the first few days you've rolled out your implementation, you're going to bring on maybe a few users in an organization, the ones that are really familiar, your trendsetters, the ones that other people in your organization are going to go to with questions. And those are the folks you're going to send through the product first. And you may say to them, you know what, these reports that we've gotten from the vendor are close, but I want you to make them meaningful for your department. Make these pull out the relevant data that you're interested in. So as a power user, I can be given rights that allow me to not just interact with this report, I can, in this web experience, switch it to an edit mode that gives me full access to the canvas of this report. So I don't have to go to Visual Studio, I don't have to call a developer. This is on the production environment. I'm not going to disrupt services at all. I can just come in here, throw the report in edit mode, and it gives me access to the full semantic data model that's driving this report. So a couple of interesting things is, one of the first benefits is it gives me an opportunity to interrogate the report. I can find out, hey, where is this data coming from? How did you get that value? 6 customers are over the credit limit. I can figure out what collection that value came from and do some investigation of my own. Beyond that, maybe I just don't like the way this report works. Maybe I like different visuals, or I've created my own custom visuals that I want to bring into the product. I can come in here and immediately do changes, switch visualization types. I can add and remove tabs from the report, save it right here, and now these changes are available for other members of my organization. No disruption, no deployment followed by that. These changes are immediate. So this is me editing the report. I can come in here. I can't change the model or the data behind it, but I have full access to the canvas of this report. So this is what you would imagine inviting your power users to come and perform this, maybe the first few weeks of a rollout, and really make the report speak to your organization. So that's one enhancement we made, and this is available today. This came out in platform update spring. This came with the spring release. Sorry, PUs come pretty often. All right, I got another one. So that's me modifying the out-of-box solution. Now, imagine I'm an organization a little bit larger, and perhaps we have our own Power BI Premium subscription. And we've built a lot of reports that now bringing data from our legacy systems. I've got some gateways, so I'm pulling data off of my on-premise data sources. I've built solutions that are meaningful to my users. I want to get that in the hands of my F&O users. What do? Do I have to call a developer? No, we don't want you to call a developer anymore. When you have a production environment up and the changes you're making affect the reports, you shouldn't need a developer to make those changes. And that's really where we're headed. So let's go back to that same customer. I got it up here. So I'm on a one box because I'm going to show you some stuff that's hot off the presses. When I say one box, so this is a machine hosting the service in a computer under a desk out in Redmond. So it's a little bit slower than normal, but bear with me. So I'm looking at that customer credit and collections workspace. I'm going to go again to that Analytics All Companies tab. It's going to be a little slow this time, my apologies. Didn't get a chance to warm this up. And the idea is, we have reports. We want to make use of them. We want people who are in F&O to have access to these views. Let's see it. So this has some errors, my fault. Playing around with code before a demo. So I'll go back up to that options tab. Again, I'm a power user. I've got elevated privileges that give me the ability to modify the product on behalf of other users of the system. So I've got two options up there. I showed you the edit. Now let's go to select. So I'm logged in as my AAD account. Power BI, I have access to Power BI. I've got a report. Here's 4 reports. I could choose it from a different workspace. Any of the workspaces I've got reports on, I'll just stick with this one. So I've actually created my own version of this report, and I prefer it over the one that came out of box. And let's see if you guys can tell the difference. Just that quick gesture I did right there, it was quick. This is one of the quickest demos because it's not the act of changing, it's the result of that change that's most impressive. It was just a one-click selection, then an OK. But what I've done is I've completely changed the analytics for this workspace, for the consumers of this workspace. So I can do this on a per company basis. I can put a different report here for one legal entity, have a different one for a different legal entity, and you can actually change the granularity of those settings as well. This version of the report, as you can see, all my labels are a little bit darker. These are in Spanish, but I've basically started with the out-of-box solution, and now you can imagine I've gone out to the portal, powerbi.com, and I've extended this. I can bring in AI now, I can bring in visualizations that I've created for myself, and put those right into the app. What's also impressive is that because this is running on Premium, we've given you some additional functions that you couldn't do outside of this before, which includes creating custom actions. So I've defined a custom action. If I saw this report out on .com, it wouldn't have that option. But because I'm viewing it in F&O, I have the opportunity to actually use some X++ code to give an even further informed decision. I can actually respond based on the context of the user's gesture and invoke an X++ action. You can imagine I can I could contact customers or kick off some business process and actually pull out the relevant data to decide what instructions to send to that recipient. So we're making reports in F&O even more powerful than they would be on their own, turning insight into action. And the last thing I want to show, just to make sure you don't think you're giving up anything for this, is that even though this report is out on .com, I can come in here, I've got those extra gestures I defined in X++ code, but I didn't lose the other gestures that would interpret that as a navigation. So here you see it. I've got reports that are coming embedded with functionality that goes above and beyond what I had in reports that are hosted in .com service. As a power user, I can extend those solutions on .com. I can extend the data set to infuse data from my own internal sources, and then I can plug those solutions right back into the app. And if necessary, I can then work with a VAR or another developer to define new actions based on user interactions with those reports in F&O. So, again, turning insight into actions, empowering power users to make the product meaningful to your organization. That's the power of the Power BI platform. I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you. I'm here for questions if you have any. Thank you.